You might not know what governing bodies are, but if you're planning to become a therapist or you're currently training to be a therapist or counselor, then you will need to know. So keep watching. You have to prepare yourself because there's so much and it might become a bit overwhelming and confusing. But that's what I'm here for. I'm here to give you all the details you need to know about this industry before you get into it so that nothing shocks you and nothing surprises you. Okay, so let's get into it. While you're training, you're going to need to be registered with the BACP. Why? Because it's a requirement of your training. That's master's level training. While I was doing my level 3 diploma, I wasn't registered. But while I was doing my psychology degree, I was a member of the BPS, I think. So I've got my card somewhere. So here's my card. Yeah, I'm just covering my name and my ID. So, and unfortunately, none of it is free. I'm sorry if you thought it was free, but nothing is free in this world apparently, including memberships to be part of these societies, which is compulsory. So the first one we have is the popular and well-known BACP, which stands for the British Association for Counselling and Psychotherapy. So they offer training. You can actually train with them to become a therapist. I was considering this option, but then I opted to do my master's because it just seemed like a lot less work, and I felt like I would have more support on a master's course than on there because I think I'd have to look for my own placement and stuff like that. And I think it was a bit cheaper. I can't remember. Or maybe it was around the same price, like I genuinely can't remember, but I know you also obviously had to pay for that as well, and I don't know if you could still get a student loan for that. I feel like it would have been harder to financially support myself because I don't think I could have applied for a student loan from the government if I was going through my training with the BACP. So they offer a different range of memberships, from student membership to qualified to supervisor to accredited, you name it, is there. So if you'd like me to do a separate video on memberships, I can do that. Just let me know in the comment section below. But if you want to know more about the memberships and how much they cost, feel free to go on their websites and just check it out. So for some counselling and psychotherapy courses, they will either be BPS accredited or BACP accredited. I think the one I'm on is BACP accredited. My psychology undergrad was BPS accredited. So whatever course you do in your training, just make sure it's accredited by one of the following governing bodies that I'm going to be talking about. Because if you don't, then chances are when you try to become a member of them after you've already done your training, you might have to do an exam or they might outright just reject you. I don't know. They do this just to make sure that you meet the requirements for their level of practice and standard of training, essentially. The second governing or professional body that we have for counsellors and therapists is called the UKCP, which stands for United Kingdom Council for Psychotherapy. So this one doesn't just allow anybody, it doesn't allow therapists and counsellors, specifically psychotherapists. My course is counselling and psychotherapy, so I would be accepted because I'm also studying psychotherapy all at the same time. But with this one, yeah, they're very strict. They also offer training and they also have a different range of memberships. Like I said, go to their website and check it out. So yeah, like I said, this one is specifically for psychotherapists and psychotherapeutic counsellors. I don't think there's a difference, but apparently those are the two. So yeah, next up we've got the BPS, which is the British Psychological Society. This one is not really for psychotherapists or counsellors, but like I said before, this one is kind of a requirement sometimes when you're doing an undergrad or doing certain degrees that you are a member of the BPS. I don't know why, because I think I've had my BPS membership since I was an undergrad, but I didn't use it for anything. I just paid money for what? I mean, it does allow you to go to events, conferences, and it allows you to get a monthly subscription magazine for free. Obviously you pay for it annually, but so yeah, for free, I guess. And you obviously get the membership card. You get the membership card, which I showed you earlier. So that's some of the benefits of being with the BPS. I'm not gonna lie, I've never been to any of their conferences or events, but their magazines have the latest things going on in the industry. So if you want to stay up to date with stuff going on in the industry, you can get that from their magazines. And the events and stuff, some of them I guess might be for free, but I feel like most of them you probably still have to pay even though you're already a member. But I think depending on your level of membership, you might be able to get discounted prices and stuff like that. In the magazines, I believe they also have extra training, so CPD courses and stuff will all be in there. So it's really useful in that sense that you can stay up to date with what's going on in the industry. So I think once I qualify, I will make it my life's mission to read their magazine on a monthly basis because, like I said in one of my previous videos, I don't think I've ever read any magazine from cover to cover and finished it. I've got 20 or 30 of them in my room somewhere, and yeah, I need to get onto it because it does have some very interesting information. So if you're doing your undergrad, whether it's psychology, counselling, psychology with counselling, make sure it's accredited as well. Check if it's accredited. If it's not the end of the world, but just make sure whatever course you're doing, if it's in line with counselling, psychology, just make sure it's accredited by something, an organization that's legitimate, rather than just doing a random course, because chances are it's going to be a lot harder for you to be professionally recognized when you haven't got one of these professional bodies associated with you. The last one that we have is called NCS, which is the National Counselling Society. This one, I haven't heard a lot about it, but I've only recently started to hear about it. I don't know if it's quite new, but they also offer training. But compared to the other ones that I've mentioned, they only have 3 membership options, which is very limited compared to the other ones. So this one is obviously for counselors and therapists alike. So with them, you can get your training with them, you can get your qualifications with them, you can join them, I think, even if you haven't done a course that's accredited by them, because like I said, most courses are accredited by the BACP or the BPS. So even if it's not accredited by NCS, you can still apply to be a member with them. But from the looks of it, it's the least popular, it's the least well known, but it's there nonetheless. So those are the governing bodies that you need to be aware of. So which membership do you need and when do you need it by? So when you're studying your undergrad, whether it's in psychology or counselling or psychotherapy, just make sure that your course is accredited, like I said. And normally most people will advertise on their website that their course is accredited because that's seen as a really big thing. But also, if it doesn't have it on the website, the easiest way to find a course that's accredited is to either go on the BPS website or the BACP website and search accredited courses. If you Google search BACP accredited courses or BPS accredited courses, it will take you to that link on the website where you can search for courses and places that are currently accredited. It'll also show you places that are no longer accredited but used to be, which I don't know why they have that on there, but you can see exactly which ones are accredited and which ones are not, just to save you the headache of having to go on lots of different websites to check if their course is accredited or not. Another time that you'll probably need to be a member of one of these associations is when you're applying for a master's degree. For me to apply to be on this master's training course, I had to be a registered member of the BPS. So I'm currently a graduate member. So once you graduate from your undergrad, you can elevate to a graduate member. So I'm currently a graduate member of the BPS. So that's something that you'll probably need for your master's courses. Like I said, I'm not really sure about diploma level, but for master's level, you will definitely need to be a graduate member of the BPS, just because it's a requirement. It was a requirement for my course. I don't know if it's a requirement for every course, but for my course, it was definitely a requirement. My membership costs £74 a year, roughly. But as for all the other memberships that you might need in the future, so to be registered, to be accredited, to be senior accredited, to be a supervisor, I think all the memberships in general range from somewhere between £40 to £150 per year. So you only pay the memberships once a year. So depending on, obviously, the lower level might be around £40, the highest might just be over £100. I don't know exactly how much. Just be aware, nothing is for free. The other time that you will need to have a membership is that once you're fully qualified and you've finished your training, you will need to register with one of the governing bodies that I've mentioned. You need to be a member with them. Ideally, the one that accredited your course is the one that will be easiest to become a member of, just because they know that this course meets the standard of training that we expect. So that would be the first thing for you to do. And most jobs will definitely expect you to be a member of one of these associations or governing bodies. So make sure that you are before you start applying for jobs. I will be doing a video in a few days on the counselling job market and showing you guys some of the jobs that you can get and what's expected in the job descriptions. And a lot of them do expect you to be a member of a governing body. So look out for that video as I explain in more detail. And I will see you in that video. Bye.